And the day I said I would not work with Raila, he was running for president. I was running for president. There is no way you can work with the opposite person unless if you are surrendering your run.
We, as Azimio la Umoja One Kenya, had a majority of members of the National Assembly. We had a majority of members of County Assembly, also senators and governors. But as soon as he was declared the winner, he embarked on a process of basically dismembering the opposition.
Hello guys, hope you are doing fine. This is Majani Chezo all the way from Trans-African News Updates. And we're here just to inform you on a few things. Of course, some of the things that we are telling you might be just a repetition of things that you know, you've heard of them, or just maybe rumors, and maybe you might wish to confirm from us, maybe from our perspective of how we see the things. Raila Amollo Odinga has gone to rest. And of course, as we said before, each and every soul shall taste death. Baba has done his part. And of course, in the political scene, Raila Amollo Odinga was one of the biggest determinant factors of each and every political move that takes place in the Republic of Kenya. And of course, this is one of the reasons to why, when things were getting out of hand, His Excellency Daktari William Samoei Ruto called upon Raila to come forward so that they can discuss and maybe know how they can govern this country, maybe exclusively. And as we all know, since Raila was called on the table and the discussion started, some members of ODM were appointed as cabinet secretaries in the kind of Mbadi, Ali Hassan Joho and Opiyo Wandayi. We've seen a lot of change. Of course, people stopped protesting and such like stuff. So this was only effective because Baba was called on the table. For this reason, some people called him a betrayer, a traitor, and such like stuff. But unfortunately, according to my feeling, when Raila was getting older and older every day, I don't think that he had created a situation whereby ODM has a clear path. In any case, he leaves the stage. Why am I saying this? As we are talking right now, before Raila passed on, of course, we have seen him during his final days. Mzee was a kind of weak. Probably he was sick, and it's understandable from the torture chambers and such like stuff. Mzee was getting old. ODM is a very big party, but I can see some fight between some ODM members. We have this segment of younger people, that is Babu Owino, Sifuna, and some other people, and we have this other section that is Orengo, Oburu Odinga, plus some other older members of ODM. And I have a feeling kwamba ODM might come to its knees one of these fine days, because they wanasema mti mkubwa ukianguka ndege huyumba. So Raila Odinga has gone to rest. Who is going to take over ODM as the party leader? Today as we speak, ODM has appointed one Daktari Oburu Odinga as the interim party leader. I think that is a wrong move, because it comes to, we know Raila Odinga is the founder of ODM, and literally speaking, ODM should not be a family business. But of course, that is the fact about ODM. I tend to feel like ODM is a business of Raila Odinga's, or rather of Odinga's business. Because if you see today, someone who was maybe projected to be the party leader was probably Babu Owino, but in the recent past tumekuwa tunaona kuna migongano hapa. Some members did not want Babu Owino, such like stuff, or we had this notion kwamba Baba will endorse Sakaja and drop Babu Owino, but in the real sense, we just know that Babu Owino has been there for ODM for the longest time possible. Babu Owino has fought so many wars on behalf of ODM for the longest time possible. If you can remember, there's a time Babu Owino called Uhuru Kenyatta mtoto wa mbwa. He was arrested for that. He suffered for that. Of course, I'm not saying that calling the president of the time mtoto wa mbwa was the correct thing, but he has fought for the party. But unfortunately, I don't see the leadership, if at all they will be on the side ya watu wazee. I don't see a situation where these older people will give the mantle to Babu Owino. And of course, before Raila died, we had already seen there was a very serious drift between these younger people and the older people. I think if you can remember just a few months ago, is it a month or even weeks, kina Babu Owino, Sifuna, Kalebamisi, they had started moving with another new faction. They were doing this because they had already known that kwamba Raila Amollo Odinga has gotten tired. Issues nzima ya kuwork on the political scene imekwisha. But again, you know, ukikuwa na mzazi, haufai kugombana na mzazi wako. Sometimes because you can find that your father is old. Maybe his level of thinking and maybe understanding things has gone down. So instead of you arguing with him when he does make some wrong mistakes, what you do is you avoid him and do other stuffs. So I think this is what these young thugs of ODM have been doing. So Bwana Kalebamisi, the member of parliament, Saboti constituency, Bwana Sifuna, the senator Nairobi, and Bwana Babu Owino, I think these three people will probably move towards the same direction. But unfortunately, the older folks will not entertain these people. And by appointing Oburu Odinga as the interim party leader means whoever will lead ODM after Raila is buried and maybe decisions have been made, whoever will lead ODM will either be a member of the Odinga's family or somebody who subscribes to Odinga's family blindly. That is somebody who does not argue, somebody who does not give the open perspective of things, maybe the perspective that might be different from the thinking and reasoning of the Odinga's family. This is just my take. So according to me, Oburu Odinga will not just be the interim party leader. Oburu Odinga will lead the party as the party leader, maybe for a short time. I'm not wishing anything bad to happen to Oburu Odinga, but Oburu Odinga is also an old man. Time has gone. Maybe at some point, some decisions will be made by other influential people from the ODM party. So maybe somebody might think or might ask themselves, what are some of these people who might be clashing for the leadership of ODM? From the coastal region, we have one Ali Hassan Joho, who was once the deputy party leader. I'm not very sure if he's still the deputy party leader. We have Oparanya. I think they stepped down before they joined government. Somebody will correct me there. Abdul Swahmad. This guy was very, very heartbroken today when Baba's remains were being repatriated from the Republic of India. So Abdul Swahmad and Ali Hassan Joho are one of the people who are looked at. Maybe they might wish to lead the party. But again, to lead the party. But again, does the Odinga's family, can the Odinga's family be willing to give the leadership to the coastal region as the party leader? I don't think so. I don't think so. Perhaps some differences might come up. We never know. We never know. In politics, anything can happen. On the other side, we have Oparanya. Oparanya was once a deputy party leader of ODM. According to my take, Oparanya's time in the ODM party might have elapsed. And I don't think the Raila Odinga's family can allow, especially a Nanluo, to lead the ODM party. I don't think so. The other person who has been very, very vocal, and this person is one of the people who have been so sad since the declaration of Raila'S demise. Uko kwetu in real land, we say, when you have a funeral, kuna hawa watu when they come, they hear of the funeral, they come crying, shouting at the top of their voices, top notch. But after some 5-10 minutes, when you just go around the house, you will find these people seated down, eating with no tears in their eyes. But we have this other person who, when he or she receives the news of somebody dying, probably they are one of their dearest people, this person does not cry, the person does not scream, the person keeps quiet. Maybe you can just see tears cascading down the visage. Maybe you cannot see tears in their eyes, but they are crying from inside. And this is an example of what has happened to one Sifuna. If you could have watched Sifuna from the start, you could realize that he was not speaking so much since the news of the passing on of Raila came to us. Some people feel like maybe Raila had died before, and maybe the ODM party, ODM party members had already gotten this information, and maybe they had not, they were just waiting for the time for the information to be disseminated to other people. But if you really look at Sifuna, Sifuna is a heartbroken man. And indeed, after the burial of Mzee, maybe, not maybe, but the meeting will be convened, and I feel like probably the old tax in ODM will not give Sifuna space to be in ODM again. In fact, at some point we had heard that Sifuna was about to resign as the ODM SG. All in all, Raila Odinga has shaped Sifuna. In any case, Sifuna gets out of ODM, you never know. In politics, anything can happen. Sifuna can still get out of ODM and survive on his own. We have this other faction. Some people were thinking that maybe the ODM leadership can be given to Orengo. This is my reason to why maybe Orengo might not be given the ODM leadership. One, Orengo is an old man as well. And secondly, some people don't know that Orengo and Raila have been having differences here and there. Sometimes open differences, sometimes loud differences. And I don't think the Odinga's family trust Orengo that much. There is a time in the year 2003 when Orengo vied for president. Some people don't know that Agri James Orengo vied for president in 2003. And due to some 1 to 3 factors, Mr. Bob did not make it. And Raila is one of the people who were against Orengo. During the BBI, Orengo came out clearly and told Baba that, you know what, we are not going to make it with BBI. So some hate was created, plus so many other stories. Just recently, when the broad-based government was still young, we still saw Orengo having differences with Baba. And some people say that, but there's a time when Orengo was not in the limelight. Some people were saying that maybe because of the differences, maybe Orengo has been killed or assassinated. So I rule out Orengo as being one of those people who are going to take over ODM after the demise of Raila Amollo Odinga. And these are my guesses. My guess is this: ODM's leadership will remain with Odinga's family. Why? Because ODM makes a lot of money, and nobody is ready to see the money getting out of Odinga's family. You know, ODM was made by Raila Amollo Odinga. ODM has been getting the drive from Odinga's family. That is Raila, Ida, and Winnie Odinga. So my take is Oburu Odinga will take over. He's already an interim party leader. He will be the party leader. Then finally, he'll once upon a time hand over the mantle to one Winnie Odinga. And I think Winnie Odinga is the person who will be proposed to take over the mantle. I know some people will be asking, how can a woman lead the party? How can a woman lead the community? Because literally, when you have ODM as your party, your ticket, the party that you are using to be elected, you know, halfway you are elected. But probably the case will change after the death of one Raila Amollo Odinga. My question to you is, who do you think will be given the leadership of ODM as the party leader? My name is Musungu Muliro. I'm a digital journalist, and this is Trans-African News Updates. If you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly head on to YouTube and search Trans-African News Updates. Thank you so much.